So let's do things that you're not seeing maybe still, and still your guides want you to like work through. How are you guys are seeing you? A bit of that kind of message. And then we're gonna do what's coming in the month of October for this collective. All right, what is it that we need to work on, this collective of masculines? What is it that we need to work on now? Nice. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I want maybe 3 more. Or 1 more. Let's see what comes out. Let's give it a try. Do we want 1 more, Source? Yes. Okay. It's really, we have Solitude is coming, is calling at the bottom of the deck, and we also have Hermit. So we'll talk about this, right? So watch the previous part so it makes sense. But we said that you're really in your divine masculine power right now, right? You really are understanding what masculinity is about, eyes on a target. And now it's like you started focusing on really fixing your life. So your key focus would be building your career, building your stability, really putting in purpose and fire into things that you do. Courage. Remember what we said? Courage. You thought you were courageous in the past because you like this daredevil, I'm gonna do it all, but you were operating on a shallow level. You weren't really reaching beyond your comfort zone, right? So it's so easy to be courageous when you're picking up breadcrumbs, right? But I feel like you're focusing on that, but you're not yet entirely ready when it comes to love and return for your feminine, because there's certain things that you need to work through, but that's good. So your first card is Dark Night of the Soul, okay? I feel like you are in your divine masculine energy, so I feel like this is more of an energy of a past. So you would have went through Dark Night of the Soul in order for you to have these deep realizations about your life, about your persona, about your past mask. You're understanding that certain things happen for a reason, and I feel like you've been through a quite of an emotionally painful period that was preparing you for this, right? And I really feel this collective, you are ready to conquer everything in life, but there are certain things when it comes to that cherry on top, which is love, that you still need to do. And I feel like the rest of these cards, it's like there's still a part of you that you need to connect to on a deeper level, right? There's still certain things that you need to understand to make sure we're not going to go back into the old ways. So let's break this down one by one. We have celibacy, and I am very, very happy that we have that, because if you are in your true divine masculine, you would know and you would understand that you wouldn't want to connect with anyone who isn't your divine counterpart, right? It's a common misconception. People think that, men always want it with anyone, and right, distorted men. True divine masculine has a respect towards himself, has a respect towards his existence, towards his body, and he doesn't want to engage with low vibrational women. Remember what we said about, like, you thought you could have anyone, but you were operating on in a low frequency zone. So distorted men, distorted women, anyone could have that. But when we talk about true divine feminine, a woman who has self-respect, self-worth, who is independent, who embodies that lone wolf energy, very few men can actually conquer that. It takes true divine masculine. And on your subconscious mind, you knew this. That's why you put her on a bench. And you were operating on a level of karmic. But I feel like there is something within you that still needs to review. So you would be living, I feel like you're not connecting to anyone, this masculine right now. So you would be in celibacy, but I feel it's more of a subconscious. So not subconscious, in the background. So in a sense of, you've realized certain things in life, so naturally you no longer gravitate towards connecting to shallow level women, right? But you're not consciously on a journey of celibacy. And I feel like and I feel like in the month of October, you are called to really connect to the vibration of celibacy. So I want to read this through you, read this through to you, okay? Your naked body should only belong to those who fall in love with your naked soul. Your body is a sacred vessel, the home of your spirit. It carries the energetic imprint of your ancestors. It holds the sacred frequency of your soul. It is time you start treating it with the respect it deserves. The concept of sexual freedom has been twisted by the patriarchy to disconnect us from our hearts and souls. You would understand this. The truth is, each time you engage in intimacy with another, you give away your sacral energy. Physical intimacy should not exist without deep soul connection. You are being called to cleanse your body through celibacy and realign your understanding of physical intimacy. So again, I feel this collective, you're not connecting to anyone right now, but it's not that intentional. I would like you to do this intentionally, and I would like you to really think about this, because I feel this collective right now, you're in a moment, you know what you want in life, you know what's your mission, you know you're on a journey, you want to return to your feminine. You wouldn't go back to any other women, but you would happily run to your feminine, to do the deed. But I want you to enter a mindset of understanding that however passion you may have for your feminine, when you get reconnected, when you get rekindled, this is what I'm hearing, you as well will also need time to get to know each other. I really want you to enter this state. That first statement, your naked body should only belong to those who fall in love with your naked soul. You have to show her your naked soul first. You would know, it would make sense for if it's truly your collective, it would resonate. You would feel that in your body. You would feel that in your solar plexus or even in your sacral. Because there's a missing element. We have connect to your emotions as well. Connect to your emotions. We'll read through this too. The distorted system we live in pushes us to disconnect from our hearts. Again, it's a thing for this collective. You were so deeply disconnected from your heart. Deeply disconnected from your heart. And I find that it's the strongest in men, in masculines, who really have big hearts, who really are sensitive. And because of past pain, you take a conscious decision to armor up, to protect your heart, to lock your heart. So for us to have that in the first statement of your two cards, you would have been very heavily disconnected from cold. I'm hearing cold. No emotions, no heart. Making us believe that emotions equal weakness and confusion. Nothing further from the truth. Our feelings connect us to our spirit, connect us to our hearts. And without this connection, we are unable to align our soul purpose and connect to the divine. It's not the emotions that are the problem, but people's inability to handle them. Once you learn to self-soothe and work with your feelings, they become a compass on your journey of life. Connect deeply to your emotions, understand what they are trying to communicate, feel them in your body, and allow them to guide you. So first thing I'm hearing is this: feel them in your body. We were talking about feeling your solar plexus, right? And we also had the camel. Camel is about self-soothing. I feel like it's something that you're already learning and you're starting to learn. But in the month of October, I really want you to embark on a journey of conscious celibacy. I'm hearing also tantra. So maybe you should do some, tantric exercises, some self-pleasuring, but trying to really raise that energy to the level of your heart and emotion. Not just do it in an automated way, that passionate, but try to introduce a little water into that passion, right? Passion is amazing, but if it doesn't come with emotions, with feelings, with looking into each other's eyes, it may be that your feminine is, most feminines are, we're volcanoes of emotions, we're masters of emotions, right? So maybe they're really trying you to prepare, because it's like you feel this pull, you want to run to her, but something subconsciously is telling you that you're not ready to handle these emotions, right? So you have to prepare and you have to cleanse. And intentional celibacy, I always say this to you guys, intentional celibacy helps us to cleanse the past, to cleanse our energy, to dissolve the cords of our past karmic partners. So depending on your individual journey, I always say this: intentional celibacy, before we really connect to a true soul connection, 3 to 6 months minimum, to really allow to lessons to close out, to contracts to close out, the cords to be dissolved. And you have go hermit, and remember we had solitude is coming at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you are being called to hermit a little bit, to spend a lot of time on your own, to really get acquainted with your emotions. Isolate yourself from the external world. I'm seeing as well, I'm hearing as well, the confusion of the distorted system, the confusion of the matrix. There are certain things that you need to process in solitude, right? Connect to your heart. I feel like it's really important for this masculine. I have a pre-recorded ceremony, heart opening and connecting to the heart with cacao ceremony. You can check that out if you go to my website. Link is in my bio as well. And if you go to Masterclasses section, you're going to find it in there. It's a pre-recorded shamanic heart opening ceremony. I feel like, or you can find any other practice that resonates with you, but I feel like you should connect to your heart and use the month of October to really connect to your heart, to connect to not just to the fact, because oftentimes men, 1111, oftentimes men, when they enter their, divine masculine state, they start to understand that, you need to respect your woman, you need to cherish your woman, you need to really give her commitment to have access to her sacral energy. That random shallow intimacy shouldn't be happening. But you're missing one point of the coin, that it's not just that you have to respect women and allow them to, whatever time we need to get to know you, to allow intimacy, but you yourself should be selective as well. Even with your divine feminine, even with your true soul connection, you yourself have the right to, and you should be in this mindset, my naked body should only belong to those who really feel into my naked soul. I have the right to take my time, not to engage in intimacy. And I feel like, I'm hearing this clearly. Sex as you knew it, right? Intimacy as you knew it, you will never do it that way again. Never, because now you're connected to your heart. It will feel different. It will land differently. You've been operating on a shallow level. To be honest, my beautiful, beautiful masculine, it's like you've never done it. You don't even know what true, well, you may know, because obviously you must have connected to your divine feminine, but it was when you were both wounded in a true divine union, when you're truly both divine feminine, divine masculine. When we fuse, when we do it, it's like a whole new cosmos, a whole new galaxy exploding, right? It's magic, it's tantric, it's intense, it's deep connection. It's two souls touching and fusing, because we are one soul. So you really have to understand that it's not just going to be a physical pleasure. It's going to be an experience on the level of a soul, on the level of emotion. So you need to prepare. You need to prepare for that explosion of, literally, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. Fusion of two divines in union. I feel like you need preparation. And we have two more. We have who is the provider. So maybe because you're working right now on your career, on your work, on stability, just make sure that you are really in line with what being a provider really means. Because there's shadows within men, even when you're approaching your divinity, that men are programmed to think that us women, we want to take advantage of you. When we say that you're supposed to be a provider, right? But it's such a deeply misunderstood concept. We are your spiritual protectors, so you have to be your physical protectors. It's this yin and yang that I always talk about. It's this divine union. So make sure that you really understand what it means. I'm going to read this through you. Again, I'm going to read this through for you so you really understand. You are probably familiar with the cliche saying that a true man is a protector and a provider. So what exactly are you expected to provide? In the distorted system we live in, this concept, just like many others, is misunderstood. True divine masculine is not a provider of financial wealth. He is the provider of abundance, order, emotional safety, love, structure, and security. Your role in the divine order is to provide a foundation for the divine feminine to flourish and create in safety. creating balance, harmony, nourishment, birthing ideas, inspiration, and channeling divine wisdom. Whilst you focus on doing, she focuses on being in connection to spirit. So when we say that you are the provider, it doesn't mean that, you're feminine, she's not going to be doing any physical work and gaining any kind of abundance or pentacles. It also doesn't mean that you just blindly pay for everything. I always say this, provider of abundance, it's not a man who has millions on his bank account. It's a man that you could literally take into any situation, any country, any freaking planet, and he would help you to operate in a physical world because you're resourceful, like the caveman. If you would go back to the times of like cavemen, when there's no actual money and credit cards, you would provide abundance because you would bring food, you would bring shelter. Do you know what I mean? This is true manhood, right? And even if you're feminine, makes pentacles and makes money, it's the role of a man to manage these things, to be financially savvy, to operate in this physical world, because we don't know how to do this, right? Our inner masculine, when we're truly in union, right? But you would know what I mean. So you really have to understand that. And you also have your last card is admitted. I feel like there may be still something. It's like this card was like all this time on the side, but I feel like there may be oh my god, I will read through this to you. Yes, no, I just saw this in the corner of my eye, and it talks about the lone wolf. Okay, listen to this. First step to truly heal is acknowledgement of our shadows, traumas, fears. You can only deny so long. You are not an lone wolf. You fear commitment. You are not too busy. You fear starting something new. You are not better off alone. You are afraid to love and to be loved. You don't have strong boundaries. You fall back into avoidance. Once you acknowledge next step is accountability. Look at your past with your compassion, right? I feel like you know all this. Everything that I've read, this is exactly it. This is this masculine. You thought you were a lone wolf. You thought you were just free. You thought you were better off alone. But in reality, you feared love. You feared failure. You didn't have courage for life, right? And I feel like you have admitted it in front of yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this divine masculine power. But I feel you have to accept that the day will come that you will have to admit it to your feminine. That you will have to have that vulnerable conversation. Truly take accountability in front of your true mirror, your true reflection, the other half of your soul. That's why you need this preparation. All right. Let's see what's coming in the month of October for this beautiful collective. I'm going to do a couple of these for you, and then we're going to do tarot. What's coming in October? Let's do maybe like 4 weeks. Should we do like, let's see. The Rainbow Reviver, very beautiful. Lightheartedness. Whoop, whoop, whoop. One more. One more. Too many. Too many. I wanted one and I got 3. Come on, Spirit. We want just one. And yet again, 2. All right, we're going to take them. All right, we're going to take them. No, I don't want to take them. What do I do? What do we do? I wanted 1. I said 1. What's going on with me today? 1. Thank you. Thank you. Divine masculine. Divine masculine. Everything happens for a reason. All right, so we have the Rainbow Reviver. The Rainbow Reviver. The Rainbow Reviver is lightheartedness. It's really the ability to alchemize happiness within yourself, alchemize joy within yourself. There's some difficult tasks in front of you, right? Connecting to your emotions, connecting to your vulnerability, activating your vulnerability, that accountability, cleansing a little bit of that sacral space. So just make sure that you don't lose joy in all of it. Healing is, I always say this, healing is not a chore. Healing is a privilege. It's a beautiful journey. And you are now at the side of light already, this collective. We just need some finer calibrations, right? This collective, you already are in your divine. in your divine masculine. So it's just really like a bit of time for recalibration, for preparation, for being in that hermit mode. So just be very lighthearted. Do things that bring you joy. We really want to rise your vibration. We have manifestation, and for this card I always look at the infinity symbol, and I always say this to you guys when we talk about sacral space. There should always be a golden cord, a golden energy cord connecting our sacral with our heart, right? Our sacral shouldn't be disconnected from our heart. The heart is the bridge with the spirit. No pleasure should exist without us being connected to the heart, to the spirit, to the meaning of life, to our own spirit, right? So I feel like you really need to you've introduced the heart to your life, right? Because you were deeply disconnected. You are now connected. I feel like you're now connected, but you need to ground this energy. You really need to anchor in this energy. You really need to ensure that your entire existence, every little thing that you do, is risen to the level of the heart. So that's what I want you to work on, right? That's one thing. Next thing is intimacy. And I really want you to look at this card because it talks about the true meaning of intimacy, right? I feel like this collective, because everything that we talked about, maybe you're one of these pairings that you really had very intense intimacy between the two of you. Not all pairings are same. I find that it's especially intense in second wavers. The love bugs, those that, you know, you cannot be in the same room together without lying around doing it. So there's a reason we were talking about these cards of emotion. Remember, we had emotions, we have celibacy, we have really connecting to your heart space. I feel like physical intimacy is something that is very important to you, but it became years of you disconnected from your heart. It would have became very automated. It would have became very, there's a reason I told you to practice that tantra with yourself. You yourself have to connect your body and your sacral to your heart level. You have to understand that true intimacy has really many levels. Intimacy, it's not just, going to bed together, right? In a form of, I never know whether I can use this word on social media. The TikTok is so sometimes. But you know what I mean, the S word, right? It's not just that. It's being in a tub together. Is looking in each other's eyes. It's having candlelit dinner. Is holding someone's hand. Is waking up together all tired and all sleepy in not always sexy pajamas and not always feeling best, and just being there for each other, connecting to each other's hearts. Intimacy is about giving. Intimacy is about presence. More than anything, and that's what I'm hearing. And it's funny because we have this sacred woman, and she has this heart on the palm of her hand. I feel like your feminine maybe she even works with emotions. Maybe she even works with heart and healing heart space and helping others to heal that space. With the sacred woman, she would have had a deep connection. She will teach you a lot about emotions and intimacy, but you have to prepare. The way you are today, you're beautiful already in your divine masculine, but what do I always say to you guys? When you enter the divine feminine, divine masculine, it's not like it happens from one day to another. You go a little bit in and out. It's a period of anchoring yourself in that energy. So I feel like it still needs to happen to you. I'm hearing that you would probably want to run to her now and be with her now, but the level of emotions that she can introduce into your life, I'm hearing that it would destroy you. It's like it would overwhelm you. You have to prepare. It's this cobra energy. You have to observe a little bit yourself, your own emotions, that tantric experience with yourself, to prepare, because it's going to be cosmic experience. It's after separation, physical fusion that creates divine union of two true divines, two true twinnies. The earth shakes, okay? The earth shakes. It's an experience out of this world. The veil, there is no veil. There is no veil. You're standing in front of each other's naked souls. And you merge. You fuse into one. Because us twins, we actually can do it. I always say this in intimacy, and the purpose of intimacy, we release our physical bodies in ecstasy for our souls to be able to touch. And when you do it with your soulmate, I'm not even going to mention karmic, but when you do it with your soulmate, soulmates have similar frequencies. So like it's a really beautiful feeling. But when you do it with your divine counterpart, when you're truly ready, your souls are of the same frequency. So they blend, they touch, they merge into one. You truly become one. And as you return to your physical bodies, your life will never be same. Never. Because you would have blended in your sacred, healed, pure soul light state. So you would now forever be extension of one another. And it's an experience that you have to be ready for. Woof! I'm excited for you. 9 of Swords. I think you, yeah. Let me do your first row. There's a reason we have that Rainbow Reviver. They may be a little bit overthinking in the month of October. Self-doubt. 8 of Swords. Come on. We had such a nice energy. Maybe October. High Priestess. One more. You are in such a nice energy. We have High Priestess on the table and Hierophant at the divine pairings. It's coming for this collective. It ain't gonna be long, right? It's just this recalibration because we don't have the nicest energy. I feel like October may still pull out a couple of your shadows so you truly understand, so you truly take accountability, right? You may be doing some overthinking. You may be, remember, things are not as serious as you see them, right? So take things lightheartedly. Always take a step back. Be like, whatever, it's destined. It's going to happen. It's all good. It's all cool, right? So you may be a little overthinking. I want to clarify these because I'm a little bit worried. 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords. Maybe you're an air sign as well, and maybe it just may be a detail, but you definitely have overthinking mind. So it may 808. It may overwhelm you a little bit as you try to. It's this defense mechanism. The more you approach, the closer you get, the more those shadows start like boozing within you, right? So make sure you're not a little bit blinded to certain things that are happening. We have the Hermit again, so you're definitely going to be hermiting, right? So you're going to be hermiting. You just to make sure that as you hermit, as you isolate yourself physically from, from the external world, 4 of Cups, you don't go into too much of sadness, too much of nostalgia, too much of overthinking, but do it to cleanse your soul. So try to really separate your overthinking mind. You can separate it as a separate persona. I always say this. Give it name, talk to it, tell it to zip it, right? And really activate that positive kind of thinking, that joy, childlike joy. Or find certain things that revive you and that reset you when you start to overthink. We have Temperance. That is nice. I feel you may have moments of doubt in the month of October. You're going to be working through certain things. You're going to be doing some deep healing in isolation, in a hermit mode, to really prepare you to claim that highest, most aligned timeline, right? You're going to be preparing yourself as well. I feel like this collective, you would have really been this distorted understanding of a lone wolf, right? I feel like you've been on your own for a very long time. So maybe you had, friends and family members and partners even, but you never felt connected to someone. You never truly felt seen, understood. I don't think you ever had a partner or even a friend that you would really be vulnerable with, consult things with. It's this partnership thing. You were really alone, but not a lone wolf as I'm independent, but what I said in previously, a lone wolf because I'm afraid, because, right? And I feel it's also something that you need to heal, because the level of intimacy in true divine love, in true divine union is really uncanny. It goes beyond anything that other people really can understand. I'm not saying this to make us like an exclusive club, but it is true. It's linked to our life of service and the mission that we have in this world. But we really are one. We really feel like we're one soul, right? And you're telepathically connected, so you sometimes feel through the body of another person. There is no hiding, there is no, do you know what I mean? So we truly become one, and it's a level of intimacy and vulnerability that we have to be prepared for. This is why these connections never work out when we are not truly healed. And I feel like for this month of October, your higher self will be really guiding you, but you need to connect. Okay, so continue healing, being lighthearted. Keep telling to yourself, oh my God, it's just an avatar. We've done this many times. It's not so serious. I'm closer. If you are a divine, right? You already in your divine masculine state. It means that you've lived minimum 500 lifetimes, minimum. Some of us 700, 800, more. Minimum 500 lifetimes. How many times you've done it? And even if this lifetime, the hard part is over. We're just talking about final calibration. So don't allow your overthinking mind. This mind belongs to this avatar. This mind belongs to this life. Your soul knows. Go to your soul. And I feel for this collective, it's going to be important to activate that childlike joy, that really laughing, taking a step back. It's all going to be good. It's all going to work out. It's cool. She's the other half of me. We're going to find our way back to each other, right? So as you continue healing, have that lightheartedness. Deeply connect to your heart. You need that deep connection to your heart. So I recommend for this collective exercises where you really lift your sacral to your heart. So when you feel passionate, when you feel the urge, you can either, do it yourself, but with an intention of lifting that. So think about love, think about your feminine, think about emotions. Don't just do it like in that raw, automated way, right? Or resist the urge through connecting to your side of heart, to your side. This is really also truly what Tantra is, to connect to the spirit, to connect. It doesn't all have to end with, with ecstasy. It can just be the experience that we go through, the emotion that we connect to, the emotion that we observe. We are not automated, autopilot, sort of an animal kind of thing that you feel it, you do it. Sometimes you just observe this emotion and you alchemize it into love. There's a reason I'm saying this to you. I feel like this collective, you're very passionate and you're very, very connected to that part of life. So it may be a bit tricky for you to lift that energy to the level of the heart, but use the energy of your feminine, the remembrance of your feminine to do that. And don't stay blinded in everything that you were taught to believe, right? You really have to raise that energy. And I feel like you will be moving away from maybe reminder of the shallowness that still resides within you when it comes to intimacy. You really have to understand intimacy deeper. And I feel like both your higher self and the higher self of your divine feminine will be guiding you through this process to really understand that with true love, with true passion, peace comes in as well. Deep connection comes in as well. And there may be some, here and there, some thoughts of, am I good enough? Am I really worthy? And she's so soft. She's so amazing, right? But I feel like you're going to conquer this feeling. I feel like this is your month to really raise your energy to the level of your heart and to learn a true energy of a lone wolf. Because you're about to embark on a journey when you're going to form a pack with the other half of you. When you're going to form the most amazing pack That once you really anchor your energy in that path, you will never be able to understand how could you ever live without it. But it's going to be scary in the beginning. So you have to make sure that you understand that with true partnership, there's equality. There's equality. We're always equals. None of us, we're one soul. None of us is better or worse. None of us is behind or in front. None of us is more or less emotional. We just have different qualities to lead each other through them, to teach each other. You will forever be each other's teachers and students. You're going to master this in the month of October. It's going to be a month of preparation for you. All right, it's been incredibly long reading. But yeah, I feel like in those months, a lot of my masculines, you're really coming into, you're getting closer. There might be a wave approaching at the end of this year, beginning of next year, because you're really doing some amazing work. So it's just final calibrations, final preparations. You got this. You got this. It was written in the stars from the very beginning. At this point, there's no chance, zero chance that you could screw this up. You're not even going to repeat the cycle. So take it easy. Follow the guidance. Go with that final recalibration. All you need is within. At this point, you wouldn't even need any guidance. All you need is within. Reach within, into your heart. Into your heart for the guidance that you need. I love you so incredibly much. And as always, I'm crossing my fingers for you.